Okay, hello YouTube. Today I want to show the project I'm working on and off actually, and this is something done on the Arduino with two servo motors through Arduino IDE and through use of processing. But we are having just for reference, I'm using a processing uh, 1.5, and I'm using Arduino 22, but you could use easily with this code you could easily use latest 1.0 Arduino IDE. Okay, so what I was doing here, I constructed this spherical gimbal out of two plastic bottles I found on eBay, and that's going to be kind of like a gimbal which moves in X and Y direction. That thing is, because it's spherical, you really wanted to have to convert those Cartesian X and Y coordinates into spherical coordinates, and that's exactly what this processing program is doing. That's why it's called Spherical Joystick, and its main job is to convert coordinates. So you could see here that I'm having X, Y, and Z, and only X and Y are dynamic. Z is static because we have just two motors, and we have angles phi and theta defining the positions of joystick in a spherical coordinate system, and theta is angle between x-axis in xy plane, and you have to be careful because it just goes from 0 to pi, and it goes in above the axis goes in counterclockwise direction, and below the axis it goes in a clockwise direction. It's not like it doesn't go like full circle like with or watch needle or something. And the main transformation happens around here. There you read the position of the mouse cursor, and then you convert it into phi, theta, and z angles, and then you display all that stuff down below in the window, and then you just keep on looping. Okay. So that's a short presentation on the processing code. What's most important in the processing code are those two libraries that you will need, and this library in particular is using Firmata. What Firmata does, it basically makes all the dealing with Arduino completely transparent from the processing point of view. Basically, processing sees all of the board at once, all the inputs, all the outputs, all the interrupts, everything. So it's like attaching Arduino directly to processing. So the code which was written here in Arduino IDE then becomes more or less just a driver. You see it's called here Processing Arduino Firmata Servo 1. I was actually lucky with Firmata. It worked straight out of the box, as you would say, and I needed just one version. To get processing code working, I needed 4 or 5 versions. It was much more complicated so in Arduino you just make sure that you get hold of those two libraries, and then the rest of the code would be quite easy. What we are going to demonstrate now is a little bit of running hardware and how everything works. To start processing code, you need to click on this run button, Okay, and then now watch please down here, report window. I'll just close Arduino because we don't need it anymore. COM6 and COM1. I know that my Arduino is on COM6, so this number 1 is actually going to be punched into the code here. Okay, so that's where you need to change in your particular installation, because it could be somewhere else. Maybe you have more devices attached to COM ports and stuff like that. Okay, so when processing turns on, this is what comes up, and this is the spherical joystick. You have a sphere of joystick here. It's waiting for input. It's now in a locked mode, and here it's showing the position of the mouse cursor relative to the center of the sphere. Z is fixed. Phi we explained earlier. It's angle between the joystick and Z axis, and theta is angle in a horizontal plane. Now if I click on the joystick, I just need to turn the power on. Okay, if you click on the joystick, now joystick starts moving, and okay, we are going into first quadrant, which is positive X, positive Y. We are going positive Y, negative X and Y, and positive X, negative Y. So okay, I'm now trying to make a full circle. This is what gimbal is supposed to do. It's maybe not the most smooth thing in the world, but that's how it works. And to finish it off, you just click on the mouse and it centers itself, and currently it's not calibrated, so it's a little bit off center because I'm still experimenting and still developing the project. Here is one important part I made. I found that you couldn't really supply servos directly from a battery. For some reason they start behaving really weird. They like go and make full circle, although they should not be able to do that. They should be able to only to swing around close to 180 degrees. So after getting some advice on forum, I made this power supply, and eventually I've chosen this component here to be LM1084, which is a low dropout voltage regulator. Now this low dropout is really important because for example LM317 has that dropout around 2.5 volts, and this LM1084 has only around 1 to 1.5. So it's much lower dropout, which simply means that it will heat less, and you will use much more of the voltage to drive servos, because servos are strongest at 6 watts. They would work from 4.5 to 6, but they are strongest at 6. Okay, please notice here in this corner in the bottom left that when we are operating, you could see all the coordinates X and Y, and if you change the code, maybe you could see phi and theta. Just curiosity possibly. And here is my Arduino Mega 2560. I have here wires connected to pins 9 for X axis and pins Y for and pin 10 for Y axis, and all these circuitry must share the ground. That's one very important thing. So this ground wire from Arduino goes to power supply, and as well all these wires from grounds from servos share that ground, and with the battery, and battery is just sitting below the Arduino. So yeah, another important point, yes, I use the convention from Wikipedia for mathematics. Sorry to physicists, I don't know why they use two different conventions, and I thought because world starts with maths, not with physics. Okay, if you think opposite, then please comment downstairs. And yes, that's the gimbal, and one circle and more, and goodbye.